Welcome back, everyone. Thomas Tuchel was just hired as a new England manager, and this guy hiring was very controversial because England fans, they might be the most traditional football fans in terms of their thinking, because they were really heavy on bringing an English manager into Elm. So a lot of people are not feeling that well about this hiring because Tuchel is from Germany, and a lot of people just don't really like hiring guys from other countries to play in England whatsoever. And getting a manager who's not from England to coach an England team, it felt really bad to some people. But I don't think it's really that big of a deal. I think Tuchel was probably the best manager that England could have signed. And I think of all options, England has gotten the best option, and that they are in for a great future. First off, I really wanted to emphasize how bad the manager market really was at this point. Because look at the managers available, there are not really that many great managers who first will be willing to take this England job, and second will be good fits and will be good options for the managerial job. Because being an England head coach is not an easy task. You see the talent, it's going to be very hard for a manager to just come in and try to fit all this talent in the same team. And just coaching international job is very hard in itself. So if you look at English managers, you have Frank Lampard, Graham Potter, but those are the two best free coaches who are available, and they're just not good enough to beat the manager of England, especially an England team who's looking to win competitions, looking to win the World Cup, win the Euros. They're just not good enough. Then you look at the other options like Antonio Conte and Zidane. Those two, I just don't think they are best fits for the international job or for the England head coach job. So in terms of available managers who will be willing to take the job and are great for this job, Thomas Tuchel was maybe the only one of those sides that was the best option. Thomas Tuchel, of all the best available options, he definitely was the right choice because there was no one else in the market that was a better manager, was a more proven background, and was a better fit for this job. Even if you try to look at the managers who already have a job, I don't think Jurgen Klopp would ever be open to joining England. I think that's why it's not like they have the thing about the Red Bull group. I don't know what was the kind of opinion on Eddie Howe joining England, because I think a lot of managers don't really want to leave the environment they are now. Because Eddie Howe is on a great Newcastle team. I don't think he really necessarily is thinking about leaving to go coach England. And Pep Guardiola was a guy who had a lot of heavy rumors on joining England. But again, if England doesn't wait for Pep Guardiola to come in, I think it's because Pep is still very doubtful about his future. He really doesn't know if he's staying at City or if he's leaving, or maybe he just didn't really wanna manage England at all. So I think for Pep Guardiola to not be signed, I don't think England had the idea that Pep was willing to coach England. So when they have, the Euro competitions, they're always easier. European competitions are now more often happening, even National League, Euros, World Cups. And a manager to really establish a good team at the international level, they need to have a lot of training camps with them. They need to know them as players, and need to have training sessions with them. So if you want to get a manager in maybe perform well at the World Cup, which in 2 years, you're gonna have to give him a lot of time. And maybe for Pep, who's only able to coach I think you only start the coaching the summer of next year. I think there'll be little to no less little time for them to kind of adapt to the manager, to the England team, and really build a good team for them to go out there and play. And also a big thing of why I love Tuchel and getting hired to England is because Tuchel has a big tactical versatility. A lot of managers who kind of have a fixed idea of what the team to play. Both their philosophy, more their formation. A lot of times, some teams don't really have the players to correspond to their fixed playstyle, and then they gonna want to force that playstyle into their team, and then the results just are not going to come because the team just not fit to play that sort of football. Now Tuchel is a different manager because he still has kind of a fixed idea about how he wants their team to play. At the same time, in terms of formation, he kind of lets the team and his players, just kind of decide that, because I think he kind of evaluates the squad he has in hand, and it's gonna be the formation that he thinks is best suited for the team inside right now. Because in his history, you can see that he has been typically doing that. You can see here from transfer market, and you can see with Bayern Munich, he played more perfectly 4-2-1. But if you go look at the other teams, like let's look at Chelsea for example. If you look at Chelsea and now they played this kind of three-back formation, 3-4-1-2, 3-4-2-1. So he is a manager who is willing to change his formation and play style in order to get the better results. Against Dortmund now here, that's what that he played with Dortmund. See again, he played actually a mix of 4-back formations and 3-back. So he's really open to kind of change formations. So according to which teams he's playing against or which players he has available for his matches. And you see now let's go with PSG. He used with PSG against fix more for 43, for 42, even sometimes to trade back. It really has a lot to do with which players he's kind of playing. And for an international shop, that's a great thing to have because internationally you can really pick the players you have in your team. Sure, you can go with the national colors and whatever, you can call the players you want, but there's only a handful of guys that are not being called up for the national team right now that could actually go into the team and make a very good job. And you see, with England, you have a lot of talents that you have to include the team because he still has to kind of find the best system. Find the best system for the players he has at his disposal because the core of the squad is also going to be the same in international shops because you can't just call a different team or just sign the players you want. It's a different type of shop, and for a manager to do well at this shop, they need to have again this tactical versatility that Tuchel has, and a lot of managers really don't have that, and so that's actually very valuable for a national manager. That's why Tuchel has a very big point in his favor to have this England shop. There's also another thing why I think Tuchel is very fitted for this kind of international managerial shop is because Tuchel's a big red flag. I actually spoke about this when I was talking about Ayrton needing to leave United and Tuchel being the guy that United should hire. Tuchel has a lot of history in terms of arguing with the board. A lot of times he left the club or was sacked that club because he had these arguments with the board, like at Chelsea with Todd Bowley. I think that's the best example because he had those discussions with the board and they end up having to leave. But with England, you can't really have much arguments with the FA because the player selection has a choice. The FA can really do anything to provide you with more or less players because the players, the FA is not responsible for that. So a lot of that argument aspect of Thomas Tuchel is gonna just get rid of. And seeing that that's Tuchel's biggest red flag as a manager, to be able to take that away in his shop, that's why Tuchel is very fit for this kind of type of job. When you look at his manager with his proven background, with trophies in his curriculum, with everything behind him, and him also being especially very fit to be an international manager, that's just a dream combination. That's why Tuchel is so fitted for this job.